In today's lesson, you are going to learn 3 new vocabulary words: coherent, dependable, and favoritism. Are you ready? Well then, let's jump right in. Our very first word is coherent. Coherent. After me again for pronunciation practice. Coherent. Excellent. Now, this term coherent just refers to being logical and consistent, or the second definition being united as or forming a whole. Again, logical or consistent. This is the definition I want us to focus on. Being logical or consistent. So check out these example sentences and they'll help you understand it even more. Number 1. He didn't write a coherent essay. He didn't write a coherent essay. It means his essay was not logical. It was not consistent. It did not make sense. Once again, he didn't write a coherent essay. Number 2, the president has not presented a coherent plan for dealing with this problem. Again, the president has not presented a logical or a consistent plan to deal with this problem. It's not a coherent plan. So once again, the president has not presented a coherent plan for dealing with this problem. In our third example, she can speak coherently about politics. She can speak in a logical manner, in a consistent way about politics. It means she's a very logical person, very organized. Again, the sentence is, she can speak coherently about politics. So we understand the term coherent, again, logical and consistent. But for you, if you want to start using this word, here is a very simple sentence pattern. The pattern is this: A is coherent because of B. Again, A is coherent because B. Now, A represents the subject, so either a story, a plan, an explanation, or an idea. So the subject is coherent because, and this portion is the fixed middle part, because letter B. Letter B is the reason why it is logical. So once again, our sentence pattern is A is coherent because B. So let's actually write some examples based on this sentence pattern. So for the first one, for letter A, let's change it to be my plan. All right, so let's write my plan. All right, so the first letter A we have is my plan is coherent because. So what are we going to write for letter B? What is the reason? Why is my plan coherent? So letter B is going to be all the steps are in order. Let's write that out. All the steps are in order. Again, we're giving the reason. So now if we read out the entire sentence, we have this sentence now. My plan is coherent because all the steps are in order. Again, we used the simple structure, the simple sentence structure. But let's make another sentence using this simple sentence structure for the word coherent. For letter A, for our subject, let's say my or her explanation. Here's our second example now. Her explanation, representing letter A or our subject. Her explanation, and then for the reason, letter B, let's write she spoke slowly. All right, she spoke slowly. Again, remember, letter A represents the subject, either the story, plan, explanation, idea, etc. And letter B represents the reason. Why is it logical? So for our second example sentence using this simple structure, we have, her explanation is coherent because she spoke slowly. Again, we use the simple sentence pattern, and we have A being her explanation and B being the reason. She spoke slowly. Let's do one more. All right, so for our third example, again, based on this simple sentence structure. For letter A, we have this book. All right, let's write this book for letter A. Remember, the middle portion stays the same. This book is coherent because. Now we need letter B. We need a reason. Why is it logical? The answer? The chapters are well organized. Here we go, writing this down. The chapters are well organized. All right, so again, we have our reason for the subject. All right, so now our third sentence will read like this. This book is coherent because the chapters are well organized. Makes sense, right? We understand, okay, using this simple sentence structure, we can make sentences for the word coherent. All right, now it's time for us to move to our next word. We finished the first word, coherent. Now it's time for us to check out our second word. Our second word is dependable. Dependable. After me for pronunciation practice. Dependable. Excellent. Last time after me. Dependable. Excellent. Now, this term dependable just means trustworthy and reliable. Again, trustworthy and reliable. So, my mom, my dad, my best friend, my sisters, they are trustworthy. I can rely on them. They are dependable. Makes sense, right? Excellent. All right, let's check out some example sentences for this word. The first one, she is a very dependable person. Again, she is a very dependable person. She is a very trustworthy and reliable person. I can trust her. She is dependable. So once again, she is a very dependable person. Next, I need a dependable babysitter. Again, I need a dependable babysitter. I need a babysitter who is trustworthy, who is reliable. I can believe in this babysitter. I need a dependable babysitter. And finally, he was a very dependable companion. He was a very dependable, trustworthy, reliable companion. I could really trust him. Once again, our third example sentence. He was a very dependable companion. So we understand this word dependable. Now it's time for us to look at an example sentence structure. All right. So for this word dependable, here is the simple sentence structure so that you can start using this word in real life. It's very simple. A is so dependable that B. Again, A is so dependable that B. Now, A represents a person or thing. So you're going to insert a person or thing. Then you have the fixed middle phrase, is so dependable that B. And B represents the result. All right? B represents the result. Okay, so let's actually put this into practice. So let's start by giving our first example of a person, again, using this sentence structure. So let's say, for example, we have this individual, my sister. So I can write my sister because she is a person, right? For my first example, my sister, then the middle portion is a fixed phrase. My sister is so dependable that. Now I have to give letter B or the result. Because she's so dependable, what is the result? I trust her with my kids. So the result is I trust her with my kids. Again, letter A represents the person or thing. Then letter B represents the result. My sister is so dependable that I trust her with my kids. Makes sense, right? Excellent. All right, let's give another example. Again, a person or thing. Let's choose this phone. This phone. So let's write this down. So now we have, for the second example, this phone is so dependable that. So what's the result? What's the result? For this one, we're going to say, I never miss important calls. So let's write that result. I never miss important calls. All right. I never miss important calls. This phone is so dependable that I never miss important calls. It's so trustworthy. It's so reliable. I never miss important calls. And what about a third example? A third example, and this time let's say our teacher. All right, our teacher. Again, letter A, a person or thing. So our teacher is so dependable that. What's the result? What's the result? The result is we always feel prepared for tests. Let's write it out. The result is we always feel prepared for tests. We always feel prepared for tests. Again, remember, with this simple sentence structure, letter A represents the person or thing, and we have letter B. Remember, letter B just represents the result. So for our final sentence, we have our teacher is so dependable that we always feel prepared for tests. Makes sense, right? Again, a simple sentence structure for the word dependable. A, person or thing, is so dependable that B, the result. So now you understand two words. You have coherent and you have dependable. Now it's time for us to move to our third vocabulary word. Our third vocabulary word is favoritism. Again, favoritism. Again, after me, favoritism. Excellent. All right. What does this term favoritism actually mean? It means the showing of special treatment. Again, the showing of special treatment. So, favoritism. Oh man, I love this more than this. Showing special treatment. I want you to imagine a classroom with many different students, boys and girls. But a specific teacher that has this class only likes the little girls, and she shows the little girls special treatment. She gives the girls candy, but not the boys. She lets the girls have extra recess, but not the boys. She is showing special treatment or giving special treatment. She is showing favoritism to the little girls. Makes sense, right? Excellent. All right, so let's check out some example sentences. Here's the first one. He accused the teacher of showing favoritism in assigning grades. Again, he accused the teacher of showing special treatment. He accused the teacher of showing favoritism in assigning grades. Next, parents try not to show favoritism when dealing with their children. Again, parents try not to show special treatment when dealing with their children. Favoritism. Again, parents try not to show favoritism when dealing with their children. And finally, they showed favoritism toward their youngest child. They showed special treatment toward their youngest child. Again, they showed favoritism toward their youngest child. So now you understand this term favoritism. Now let's check out a very simple sentence structure using this term favoritism. So the sentence structure is A shows favoritism when B. Again, A shows favoritism when B. Now A in this situation represents the subject, all right, person, place, or thing. So the subject shows favoritism when B, and B represents a specific situation. So let's check out some example sentences using this sentence structure. Let's start with the teacher. All right, so letter A, our first subject is going to be the teacher. All right, the teacher. And remember, the beginning is the letter A and the middle is the fixed phrase. So the teacher shows favoritism when. Now, what's letter B? What's the situation? We're going to say the situation is she only helps one student. All right, here we go. She only helps one student. All right, this is the situation. So again, here we have letter A, the subject, the teacher. Letter B, the situation, she only helps one student. The full sentence, the teacher shows favoritism when she only helps one student. All right, now let's move on to our second example using this simple sentence structure. Now for letter A, let's choose the boss. The boss. All right, we have the boss being letter A. And then for letter B, the situation, he gives his family special treatment. All right, he gives his family special treatment. All right, this is the situation. He gives his family special treatment. So we have letter A and letter B. Now the sentence. The boss shows favoritism when he gives his family special treatment. Again, simple sentence structure, and we're seeing how you can actually use it by selecting A, the subject, and the situation. Let's look at one more example using this simple sentence structure. For this example, letter A, the subject is going to be parents. All right, so we have parents. And then for letter B, or the situation, we'll say they praise one child more than the others. Again, they praise one child more than the others. All right, praise one child more than the others. So now we have A and we have B, and the sentence becomes parents show, and we're going to change this to show. All right, for the proper, here we go, no S. All right, so parents show favoritism when they praise one child more than the others. So we have three example sentences using this simple sentence structure for the word favoritism. All right, so you've learned 3 vocabulary words today: coherent, dependable, and favoritism. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget, if you want to continue learning with me new vocabulary words every day, go to www.dailyenglishvocabulary.com, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson.